right, all right, all right. We are back. Did you miss us? That's what we need to know. Do you think they missed us, Dustin?
Bro, it's been a minute. I mean, I ain't
Man,
I
it
probably
has.
missed I probably missed them. So
Yeah,
yeah,
we
it's
miss
been a
y'all.
minute.
We miss y'all. So, anyways, we apologize for missing a week. We think we missed a week. Honestly, I was had a bad sinus infection last week, and Dustin was thrashing to get ready for this big stretch of racing he's been doing. So, anyways, we couldn't get it done, but we're back here for your listening, viewing pleasure this week, and we got a lot of stuff to cover. So, yeah, first and foremost, thank you for supporting us and Red Hill Racing Podcast. We really appreciate that. And of course, we got to shout out our sponsors as well. We got the University of Wynn, still clicking off wins weekly, BMF Motorsports, Max ECU, which let's just go ahead and tell the school members or everybody that's listening. In addition to the Vance and race suit that's being given away to school members this year, courtesy of Platinum General Services and Ralphie, the school is also going to give away a Max ECU Sport. So yeah, it there's lots of good
Thanks,
perks
Steve, for
with
the
the school.
hookup, and thanks to
Yeah.
school for forking out the dollars.
That's right. Yeah, Mr. Nichols got us a good deal on one. As a podcast supporter, we appreciate him and their support. So we're gonna hook a school member up at the end of the year at our yearly awards banquet, and that'll be cool. So, anyways, big news there. Then we got Montgomery Motorsports, MPS Racing, Penske Racing Shocks, Hard Times Parts and Service, which I happen to be repping tonight.
Oh
Um,
yeah, hillbilly
probably
shirt.
probably
My
got some
favorite shirt, to be honest.
baby spit up on it somewhere too.
It's all right.
Then we got DME Racing, Schnitz Racing. I was thinking about this, by the way. I'm gonna have to talk to my man Trevor and Ryan because dude, I don't think I have any Schnitz Racing shirts, which is weird.
Unbelievable.
Do you have any?
Yeah, older ones that Dave used to send me for like number one qualifiers and stuff.
I mean, like I probably have like I remember one that I used to wear, but I don't even know. Anyways, I need
Yeah,
some Schnitz Racing shirts.
you just
Brock's
got to hit up Grandpa
Performance.
Dave, bro.
I know. He'll help me out. Talking about shirts, Brock's Performance, man. I seen somebody walking down did I ever tell you this? I seen somebody walking down my little town. This was, I don't know, it could have been a year ago, wearing a Brock shirt. And I was like, holy shit. And then I realized that I had so many Brock shirts. I'm pretty sure I donated some to our local EAUS outlet. So they were repping Brock's Performance on
I was about to
on the
ask you if they
streets.
got that from you at a
Oh
Goodwill or
yeah.
something.
Oh yeah, Goodwill for sure. This dude was probably methed out too, but hey, it's all good. He was
Hey
rocking that
man,
Brock's. He
all
was high
publicity is
performance,
good
baby. High
publicity.
performance. All right, wow.
He was working on
Damn.
his yoga.
That's right.
He was out there bending and tweaking.
Yeah. Gosh,
Ben,
man,
you need to do yoga right now. Ben's got
oh
a
my
messed up
gosh.
neck, and I'm not real flexible, so we maybe we
My
ought to.
neck is killing me right now, y'all. That's an understatement. And it just comes and
Oh,
goes.
oh! After you get done going sponsors, I got something
Man,
I gotta
we
say.
are off track and we can't even make it through the damn sponsors.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't know.
been a
Is my
minute.
internet bad or is yours? Is it kind of a
No,
little
you're fine,
fade
bro.
here and there? Okay. Um, MTC Engineering, which we still have a Gen 2 clutch to give away to our podcast subscribers, by the way.
That's a
BST
big one.
wheels, Brock's Performance and BST and Worldwide Bearings giving away some wheel set. We got Monster Race Products, Platinum General Services, and I already said it, but Worldwide Bearings. All right. Not safe for work. We've already rambled and went off track just getting through our sponsors. So y'all are probably in for a ride tonight, today, tomorrow, whenever the heck y'all listen to it. What's happening in Mr. 43X's world?
I don't. Well, there's this. Okay, I was just not the bracket finals at South Georgia, and I don't know what his name is. And Jerry Turner can back this up. But every time I seen this guy that worked at the track, that was prepping the track and all over the place, to be honest, bro, he was like your brother.
My brother.
Every time I seen him, I thought of you because he had a mullet, but it was like a permed in the back. But the whole front and the sides were pretty thin. Like it was just the very back. And I'm on right now, I'm on the South Georgia's Facebook page just trying to see if there was a picture of this guy to show you because
Mm.
every time I seen this guy on the track or running around, I thought, yeah, of you. I'm like, that's Ben. Like he looks just
By
like
the
Ben.
way, in
He's even
case
got
y'all
the little
can't see with
pepper.
the background, look,
Yeah.
this thing that y'all listeners, hold on, I gotta turn my background off so y'all can get the full effect. You guys asked for it, and I've delivered. Look at this thing. Look, I'll do a little head shake, even though my neck hurts. How's
Oh, the
that?
pain. Yeah, it wobbles.
Oh, look, it's getting right, y'all. This is for y'all. Y'all asked for it. Trust me, I ain't running around with a mullet for no reason. I don't know. I won't be honest. Once it gets like this, it's pretty badass. I mean, as Jeff said, it's got magical powers. You just gotta fluff it in the
Disappointed
back.
that I didn't pre-plan this and look this guy up because, bro,
Sounds epic. It sounds epic. Do you want to talk about your weekend? I mean, that was recent. Should we start with some older shit or what?
um, you go ahead and go over
All right,
the
all right.
Midwestern, even though he's going to get upset that I said that.
Jeremy England,
Yeah.
Mr. England. Look, we gotta give props where props are due. Me and
Yeah.
Dustin
About a good show.
watched a lot of, let me pull it up so I don't slander it too mad. The Midwest Sportsman motorcycle racing.
That's why I
That's
said he
the
would get upset because I called it
yeah.
Midwestern.
But Jeremy, we got nothing but praise for you, man. Seriously, Dustin and I watched a lot of that. It was on Motor
Enjoyed the
Mania.
announcing with Bradley and him, and then the regular
Gosh,
announcer. It was good.
between the regular announcer, Bradley Grothis, and even Jeremy, like it took me a minute. I think I was feeling good one night, and I messaged him. I was like, "Dude, are you announcing?" He's like, "Yeah, why? What's up?" And I was like, "Damn, it sounds good, bro." Um, so yeah, look, first off, the announcing was top notch. Y'all did great, all three of y'all. And I know Bradley was probably the main guy, but Jeremy was on there quite a bit that I heard. Dustin and I both agreed, like, just even if we weren't watching, just listening and hearing all the backstories y'all told on each racers and if they had a new bike build this year, like it
Yeah,
was
props
just
for remembering
great.
all that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was phenomenal. And then naturally the racing was out of this world too. I mean, you got some just straight killers up there that were racing for what was it? It was 10 grand the big day. It was 5,000 an Ironman the other day, right? And then they
Yep.
even had a gamblers race in 560. So yeah, I mean especially if you're into delay box racing, you need to check that out. Check out Mr. England and his little mini series that he's been doing and it seemed like a great time. I really enjoyed watching. I watched as much as I could. So anyways, we wanted to shout them out. And we also wanted to give some props to the race winners for the weekend. And the gamblers race, I believe it was Friday night.
The Row Boy.
Yeah, it came down to the Rowe brothers. Rashad Rowe from Rowe Brothers Racing was victorious over the always awesome Sesley Shell House. We love the Shell
I
Houses.
think she was last year's winner, right? Or the first race winner
Look,
this year.
you roll into Killcare Dragway, which is like home track for the Shell Houses. Well, a lot of them Midwest people, Jeremy and them as well. But like, you don't want to mess around with people at their home track, bro.
No.
They don't
Fafo.
play. Yeah, exactly. You fafo up in there. So that was cool. And I want to say they had like if it wasn't the same dial in the final, it was within 100 or so. I think they both dialed like
It was heads up.
514. Yeah.
hmm Yeah, it was awesome. I like that. I was like, hell yeah. I was actually out in the garage working, putting the tire on my bike or something. I was just listening to it.
Yeah. Yeah, it was
Actually,
cool.
no, not the final. That was the next morning. They didn't finish. No, that the gamblers they finished. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
the
got to
gamblers
watch
they
that.
finished.
Yeah.
And then moving on to the 560 class, our buddy Jordan Weiss, he qualified number one with a um
Perfect light, dead zero.
oh shit, yeah, I had to reread that. I saw the 560 with a zero, but he paired that with a perfect reaction time. Damn, Jeremy, you should have coughed up some money for that. Lord, a
That had to
perfect
be worth
pass.
$200, right?
I know, Jordan. Better hit up Mr. England and claim that cash he owes you. He owes you something for that.
A hug, a high five, something special parking, something.
Shit. I don't know about a hug. He needs some cash for that. All right, moving on. Jordan was I think he went okay, yeah, okay. I'm reading through it. I didn't want to go off the cuff, but yeah. So Jordan qualified number one and made it all the way to the finals. Unfortunately, his luck ran out there, and Mr. David Young pulled off the victory in
on a brand
560.
new build, like the bike's first race.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Is that what he rode last weekend?
Yep. Hmm.
Yeah. So, anyways, congrats to Mr. Young and Mr. Weiss on that. Then we went into the big 128 bike shootout, 10K to win. Let's see. Um, Sorry, I got a little sidetracked. Hold on.
I know the semis. The semis come down to father and son, and um, it could have been a father and son final.
Well, go ahead and you tell that part then, because I was trying to
John
make
had to
sense of
race.
this.
John had to race Joe Clemmy in the semis. Joe won, and then Dalton was sitting on a bye,
Oh, I
and
gotcha.
then Joe had to race Dalton in the final. And to note, there was some in-team money moving, so that means that the race wasn't really split like it normally would be. Like there was some less of money splitting going down because
Nice.
there was agreements between, of course, father and son and David Young. One of us win, we're going to toss the other one this or whatever. So
Interesting. So it was a pretty big payout, is what you're saying. Payday.
yeah, there was some good chunk of money handed over. And Dalton took it and the helmet trophy and went to his house.
Yeah, well, I saw quite a few passes in the 10,000 race, and I'll tell you what, they
Some
weren't
good
messing
racing.
around. Yeah, and I specifically remember watching. I think it was 2 rounds in a row. I'm gonna say it was probably fourth or fifth round, something like that, and just yeah, I could tell the Markhams they were on fire. And David Young was running good as well. So it was exciting to watch. And then finally they wrapped up their weekend with this was the Ironman race, right? And
Yep.
it came down to um, Big Red, David Bashara, and Nicholas Bowling.
I was about to say it. I'm like, come on, you got
Yeah, yeah, I had to find
it.
it. So yeah, it says in the write-up it says both of them were ripping off double O's pretty consistently throughout that race, which no surprise. And yeah, the young Nicholas Bowling got the win over Big Red for the Ironman race. So
Old school wins. Old school against new school.
that's right.
OKZ versus Busa.
And a young gun against the older guy, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Young
yeah.
gun on the old bike and the
Yeah,
older guy on
that's
the
kind
new
of odd,
bike,
ain't it?
right?
Yeah,
That's cool. And
yeah.
I said older guy, David, if in
Yeah, yeah,
case
yeah.
you
Not old,
hear
not
this,
old
I
old
did
guy,
not
but
call you old.
older guy.
Of
I
course,
mean,
if
me
you
and Ben are
somehow hear
getting
this, I'm
old.
sure you're gonna give me shit anyway. Yeah, I feel like I'm about 105 fucking years old right now. This is not fun, y'all.
I was telling Tamara we was watching it, and I was trying to like show her, like on the Motor Mania, which is really good camera angles, it'll show the finish line. And I was like, try to pay attention to see who crosses first and by how much. And when David Young lost in the main race, Tamara was like, "Oh, David," like because he took a whole bike, like it the other, and he
Yeah.
was racing Jordan, and Jordan sent him down that
Oh
breakout
man.
road, and Tamara was like, "Oh, David," because I was trying to, make her pay
Yeah.
attention, like, tell me who crosses first and how much, and her
Right.
first response was, "Oh, David," too
Oh
much,
man.
yeah. And I told David that this weekend, and he laughed. I was like, "That's probably the only time my wife's ever allowed to say, 'Oh, David.'"
Yeah. Oh man. Oh, that's funny.
But I just showing her the things that I look at when I'm watching the
Yeah.
video, and it was pretty cool that she took note of that and caught it pretty quick that he hogged the stripe up some. But
Also, this is probably a perfect opportunity to say, Red Hill Racing, y'all, we're fair and balanced. Who says that? Because is that like a news station or something that's probably lying through their teeth? Listen, most of y'all probably know Mr. England have had some issues in the past, and we got over them, and so has Dustin and him. And
yeah, yeah.
we are not too proud to admit like when things are right. And that race was right, y'all.
Well,
So
we care about the sport,
yeah.
and as a somebody
I'm
that
just
cares about
saying,
the
like, there's
sport,
some
if
other
yeah.
media places that just like to do what the
Yeah,
hell
they're
they
not
want
going
to
to be
do.
neutral. Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, I feel like media should be neutral,
for
and
sure. And that's why we wanted to
um,
hit up this race because it was a
our
great
whole damn
race.
world needs to be more neutral, But let's not get on that. But
Well, I know, but I'm saying,
yeah,
like, to your point, like, we need to acknowledge good things, and that was a great race
well, yeah,
for the
because if
sport.
if we talk about positives, it makes people look forward going to racing and not being talked about on the internet, negatively.
Jeremy, just
So,
save me and Dustin a spot in the next race.
man, I don't
Count us
know.
in.
Like,
I know
I
you
would,
can't schedule it. That's why I'm
yeah,
telling him to just mark us down. We're
yeah.
in there. He'll just you just tell us, man, like, hey, y'all are coming to this race. Be like, all right, whatever.
I mean,
Man,
I ain't gonna say that I didn't wish I was there racing, but I couldn't tell you in the first of the year that I was coming to that race. You know what
yeah,
I
but
mean?
you also
So,
knew you're going to the last race of SDBA and the last race of
well, I
XDA.
scheduled that series.
I
Yeah.
know, I'm just saying you can schedule that. Anyways, that was a great race. That was
I
cool
mean,
that we
I
got to
am the
watch it.
I am the guy that's race one of five races in a row just now. So
I know,
if
but
I
that's
would have
on
went to
you.
Germany's, that would have been six races in a row.
Well, you might have taken a weekend off had you won.
Um, Probably not, because my whole season, to be honest, the only race I cared about was the one that I sucked at this past weekend.
Well, you
So
didn't suck, so there's that too.
no, I didn't suck. I mean, I just
We'll get
didn't
to
do.
that. We'll get to
Yeah,
that. You didn't have the results that you were seeking, and that happens a lot when we play this thing called racing, you know?
yeah.
What else happened in between now and whenever the hell we last recorded? We had some NHRA action, right? I don't think we
Um,
even talked about the US Nationals, right?
no, no,
Oh
we
shit,
didn't.
we gotta go back another race. I'll pull that up right now.
Well,
Um,
that was these past two NHRA races have been very interesting to me.
oh, no
Um,
doubt.
I'm going to speak some truth. I'm going to talk what Dustin thinks, and this is just my personal opinion when we get to talking about it. But
Go for it.
um, so
Where do
I've
you want to
been,
start with the US Nationals?
yeah, sure. I don't know the results. I guess you can go over them, but I know who won, of course, and I know who raced in the finals, but I can't remember um the
I'm pulling it up right
details.
now. Well, it was the marathon
I
of qualifying,
Okay,
which is the
yeah.
US Nationals.
Before I want to talk about, okay, so Angie brought out a brand new motorcycle at the U.S. Nationals, and this is the most craziest thing. Like the way the world works, it's like I don't know, it's a mystery. But so Chris Bostic goes down the racetrack and throws the parachute for the first time, and which was super cool. And they're doing an interview, asking him how'd it feel, how'd it go, and he's like, hey, I didn't have to get on my brakes right away. I threw the chute, started slowing the bike down, got on my brakes, and it was great. And he give a thumbs up to the camera. Then they go to the starting line, and Angie Smith is up there, and she lost her brakes, went into the sand. Like ironically, the next pass after they interview, like the last thing they did was interview Chris about the chute. And luckily, it was very graceful. Like she come off the bike. It's kind of on her leg, but she pulled it out in the
Did it
pebbles.
tear
And
anything up?
no, I mean they didn't run the next qualifier because they wanted to get like all the rocks and the dirt out of the wheel bearings and stuff because I'm sure
Yeah.
they got the caps off of them and probably put WD-40 on them or something for speed. But um, it didn't hurt really anything bad. Like I mean, the bike come for first round, so obviously
Yeah.
it wasn't terrible. I don't know the whole deal, but just the way the universe works just blows my mind that Chris threw a shoot. They have an interview about that, and then they lose their brakes. And
Yeah.
my only thing is on that, I'm pretty sure that some pro stock motorcycles use that poly line for brake line, like it's like almost like your air shifter line. And I just don't understand. Like I feel like that we could just use braided lines. Now they didn't even break the lines on that system when they took it from her old bike to her new one, from what I understand. But it still somehow something happened and she went to use her brakes and they wasn't nobody home. And she was doing a phenomenal job of riding the motorcycle in that situation because she was pump, 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 pump. The
She got
fronts
them
wasn't
muscles, boy. She'd be in the
well, she was
gym at 4 a.m.
she was pumping the front brakes and obviously you could see her and nothing was happening. And she kind of like stood up. I guess she was standing on the rear brakes. Like she was standing up on the bike, I guess trying to like slow it down
Uh-huh.
and then right, when it hit, she just kind of went off to the left and the bike kind of slid up on her leg, but didn't hurt her or nothing. It looked like she just pulled it right out of the thick gravel. But um, that was qualifying on like something that happened in qualifying.
Yeah.
I can't remember the qualifying
I got it
results.
pulled up. I think this is correct, but if it is, then man, it was just I mean, if you could write out like the players, like it went Gage number one, 680 with a nine. Matt Smith, number two, 681 with a six. Number three, John Hall, 683. Four, Richard Gadsden, 683, four. Gianna, fifth, 685, six. Angie, six, 685, nine. Then we went Hector Jr. with a 686 and Chase a 688. And that was the top half of the field. So, yeah, I know it took Gage and them a little bit to come around, I think, right?
Yeah.
So, but
Yeah,
yeah,
that
then
the
go ahead.
newest thing is, with these current rules is I'm pretty sure all the Suzuki's don't like the heat at this moment, but Vance and Hines' Suzuki's are for sure the heat pulls them down. It takes, some power away from them. So the weather has to be good for them to be able to run up front to have a shot. It's what I'm seeing.
Yeah, yeah. Well, they
But
they
they're
changed the rules to try and get some parity, and it's,
and I mean, they're doing a good job. I think it's tight right now as long as the pot isn't, the kettle's not calling the pot black. I feel like that there was a round at the US Nationals. It might have been E4 that I feel like Matt should have went faster. I feel like that Matt should have
when you raced Angie, I got all this stuff pulled up.
I'm looking at the overall
Matt and
um
Angie raced in the semifinals, and Matt went a 684 to her quicker
it
682.
was a qualifier. It must have been
Oh,
Q4. Q4 Matt didn't go as fast as I thought he should have went, in
oh,
my
when
opinion.
Gage went to the top.
Yeah, yeah. Q4 when Gage went faster than Matt, I was like, huh, because I was thinking Matt was going to pop off a 77 or something, and I actually messaged our man Steve Nichols and said, "Hey, what's up? Why is our bro holding back? Because he should have went faster." And Steve, I think I'd have to look at the message, but he was like, how did you figure this up?" I'm like, I'm a racer. Like I know what Matt has done, and I seen him in these. I remember the weather conditions popped up, and I was looking at it, and I compared it to the race that Richard and Gage did terrible at, and I was like, man, when Gianna went really fast, what race was that? Was that the one
Gosh,
that
man,
was?
that's pulling too much brain power for me right now. I can't
It was
recall
the one
which one it
before
was.
this one that they went to. It must have been
Sonoma or something,
yeah,
maybe.
yeah. And they were
Yeah, I think it
Gianna
might
went
have been
like
Sonoma.
204 or
Yeah.
something. And according to the weather that I had that I just seen real quick, Matt should have went at 70 something that pass. So he must have missed a tune up or didn't use it. One or the other.
Hmm.
Not sure.
Interesting observation there, sir.
I mean, I'm a bracket racer. Numbers is my jam, you know.
Well, yeah, the US Nationals, we had a semifinals of teammates on both sides, man. That was pretty cool to see. So we had Mr. Gage versus Mr. Richard. So we had
Yeah.
all Vance and Hines, one semi. Um, They're both on the tree, 022 to an 028, so right there together. But Gage managed to run quicker. He went a 680 with a four to Richard's 687. And then on the other side, you had Matt and Angie. You had the husband and wife going at it. Matt did not cut Angie any slack. He was 18 to her 31. Unfortunately, he was about a hundredth behind. He went a 684 with a three to her 682. So let's see,
She drove
that's
around him.
13. He should have been exactly 1/100th behind if I can do my math right. So
Yeah,
that was a
he
tight
out
race.
60 footed and three her. And then at the eighth mile, she said, "Peace out," and started driving away.
Yeah. Well, it should have only been an 0-1 margin.
It was
MOV.
0-10.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
So that set up the final for Gage and Angie. And yeah, there was I do remember there was some chatter back and forth and you know, on the inner tube during this weekend. And I think they lit a little fire in Mr. Hollywood Herrera because he went to the finals and he was not cutting no one nothing. He was perfect trip zip. Paired that with a 676 to basically outrun Angie. She wasn't bad. She was 038 and 682, but just Well, I don't know, man. Y'all, what do they say? Don't poke the bear. I mean,
So this
look,
is
you don't want to be poking the bears.
I caught this in just the interview. So Eddie made changes to the bike to make it 60 foot, right? To try to win the race. And Gage got on the bike and said, "What'd you do to this clutch?" When he pulled it in, he instantly felt the difference. And Andrew had, I messaged him and he said there was so
You
much
allowed to
going
share
on.
this?
No, no, I mean it's not like nothing
Oh,
bad. It
okay.
was it was just that Andrew said that there was so much going on, like that side of the track gets shade and the clutch was changed and they were worried about his light and
You
this
want
and
to say
that
hi?
and and then he just goes out there and trip
Thank
zips.
you. Had a delivery.
Oh, nice.
She didn't want to say hi though.
Oh, well, hi.
Yeah.
But it was for them even it was a stressful final because there was a lot of things that they changed to try to win, And
Well,
now
they
that
threw
the
the kitchen sink
Suzuki's
at
are
it.
heavy, I've noticed that they're having to really get after those bikes up front to be able to compete.
Yeah.
I mean, even in that final right there, Gage was almost 500 faster to the 60 foot just to be able to win. And it showed out the back, but in my opinion, we have seen a little trickle of Matt and them have good 60 foots. And if they do, they're going to be fast,
Oh
fast,
yeah.
fast.
Yeah. You're right. I pulled that up. Angie was 109 to Gage's 104.5. So
Yeah.
um yeah, it's a big difference there. Basically, they're back half and pretty good, you know.
It's all mile per hour, and it all leads down to, I think, from what I'm understanding, it's just weight. The Suzuki's are so much heavier. I mean, even Gino mentioned that in the interview that when he pushes the bike, it's so heavy compared to what he's used to pushing, which is a really uh, person that's raced a lot of different pro stock motorcycles. So it's a valuable opinion, in my opinion.
Hmm. Which, it's good to see Gino back out there.
Yeah, yeah, it's cool. It's it's good to see a motorcycle that's built to be rode. Somebody out there campaigned it, and he um at Indy, look, he had to learn. He's got to learn, but he did a lot better this past weekend.
Yeah, for sure. So that was US Nationals. Should we roll right into Reading?
Yeah,
All right. I know you got that pulled up, right?
well, I did until I
Oh
backed
shit.
out and went. I can do it. I'm right here at it.
I'll get it pulled up too.
So qualifying, to be honest, when I was kind of trying to watch qualifying as it was going on while I was racing, um, I was pretty fired up at first. At first it was I think it was Q2, there was raining 680s. Like it was let's see if my thing will refresh. My internet ain't real happy with me right now.
Well, it's funny. I'm looking back through the results right now, and you were talking about 60 foots, and it doesn't look like anyone was 60 footing very well at in
Not this
Maple
race.
Grove.
The track was not having it. So Q1, Matt pops off a 680 with a one, and Hector Jr. was 82. I'm just going to do the top five. Richard was 84, Gage was 85, and John Hall was 89. And then Q2, this is when it was like crazy. Matt was still sitting. He didn't go faster. He was still sitting number one with a 680 with a one. Gage goes 80 with a four. Richard goes 80 with a seven. Hector Jr. goes 82. Steve Johnson goes 85. So I was like, man, like three bikes going 680. Now, if they all picked up and then Matt didn't, that's to me is like, why? Because obviously the weather got better if everybody else went faster. Q3, Matt didn't go no faster. Gage went a 74. Richard still sitting with the 80 with a six. Hector Jr. 82. Angie Smith improved and went an 84 with a nine. And then Q4, the last qualifier, Gage goes a 74 with a three. The final qualifying was a 74 with a three. Matt went a 79 with a five. Richard was still at 80 with a six. Hector was 82, and Angie was sitting there with 84 with the zero. Mark Ingerson, I just want to point out, sixth,
Yeah, I seen
84
that.
of the six. Steve Johnson, you know, seventh place qualifier, 85 of the nine, which is Chris Bostic, 87 with a nine, Chase, 88, John Hall is 689. That's the top 10. That's, I mean, you know, that's pretty good, pretty good little show in there. I mean,
What the fuck?
what'd you do now?
Fucking spider was crawling up my
Oh,
leg.
oh, I thought you
Sorry.
seen something that I missed.
No, I was like, I tried not to panic right away, but you feel
So
something crawling up your leg.
to
It's like,
fast
damn.
to fast forward to the semis, that's where, in my opinion, it got interesting at this race. Matt had to race Richard. Gage had to race Hector Jr. Everybody's thinking, I don't care who you are, man, Matt and Rich. I mean, Richard and Gage is going to be in the finals again if Richard can beat Matt. That's what everybody's thinking, right? Well, part of that happened. Matt's bike shut off. I remember, I can't remember what they said the problem was. There was a problem with the bike and it shut off. And Richard took the win. Now, saying that, Richard was 015 on the tree, 687, made a clean lap, right down Broadway. And then it was up to Gage to meet his teammate in the final. And man, Gage has been really pushing his riding, because they're not as fast as they was. And he was 002 red. Hector Jr. was 028, went a 88, and Gage went a 90. Now he did shut it off early. Gage just went 170. So not really sure what he was going to run. 1,000 foot, he was 600ths faster than Hector Jr. So if you be mathing, he was at least going to go 82, potentially. Hard to say. 106.60, so not his best, but decent. But if you notice, Matt was 106.60 against Richard in the semis. So if Matt's bike didn't shut off, I think it was about to lay one down, in my opinion, because he was quite a bit faster than his qualifier to the 60
Yeah,
foot.
and he posted that it was a faulty fuel pump switch.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I'll tell you what, if that's the case, then like I don't know, they have some shitty luck. Because I mean, it seems like it's always like no joke, like what, a $5 fucking part or something. I
B
mean, it's
twin
bad.
life, man. They be shaking them apart.
That is true. That is true. I totally forgot about that. Yeah,
On to
the
the finals.
vibrations.
Man, I ain't gonna lie. It was cool to see a first time winner of the season, no matter what happened in the finals. But I
Oh
don't know
yeah.
anybody that didn't want to see Little Richard get his first dub, and
Oh yeah. But it'll come. You
yeah, it
know,
will.
all
But
good things.
he done his jam, man. He was 011, win a 687. Hector was 026 and went a 83. So it was 020 at the stripe. Just, probably missed a tune up a little, or actually looking at it, he spun. It was a 109 short. So it just did not 60 foot. Probably the track was tricky. I don't know how many pro stock cars and top fuel nitro stuff annihilated the tires. Like there was a pedal fest or two, I think, that got one in the top fuel stuff or the nitro stuff. So I kind of listened to it on the way home from my race, but I do remember hearing. I don't really know if Richard's bike spun or it bogged, but I remember when it left, I heard like a
Well, they were
something. I
both
think.
close on 60 foot, so I mean it might have done something, but they
Well,
were like I
Richard's
said,
been
nobody was
faster than
having.
109.
Oh,
Yeah,
no
yeah,
doubt. But I'm
yeah,
saying like they were, if you go back through the results, like nobody was having great. Like the round before he was 107.
yeah.
So he was slower, but
But if he was
um
107 that hit, he could have won that race.
right. But
Yeah,
and then Hector was 109 the round before as well. So I mean
yeah,
Hector only picked up marginally. I mean they just
yeah.
for whatever
I
reason,
swear I remember hearing it leave and it kind of like like it bogged.
yeah.
And that's what I remember. But it was good racing, first time of the year winner, like it wasn't a repeat winner or nothing.
Well, look, I'll tell you
Hector
one
Jr.
thing.
come from a really bad streak to a really good weekend and got the win,
Well,
So
that's what
it
I was
was
gonna say. You can't ever count the Aranas
now
out. Like out of
first to 200,
nowhere,
baby. Yeah.
they'll pop up. I mean, and I'd like to see, them figure out how to be more consistent because obviously they can find
They
some
did this
power.
weekend.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but man, you
I
just
think
can't
I might
ever.
have heard one of
Last
the
year they
announcers
won.
say that,
Hector won, right?
yeah,
Hector got a. It's like they just.
that's his home track.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they'll put wins together. You can't count them out. You gotta
I,
watch them.
I want to say that I heard one of the announcers say that Pops was coming back. His dad was coming back.
I mean, he's, hey,
I
I'm
want to say
sure.
that I might have heard them say that he was working to get him back out there or something. I can't remember. Maybe
Ah,
maybe he was staying home working on the engines to get Junior on top. Maybe I misunderstood it, but I would love to see Senior come back out. Like it would
yeah,
be cool.
yeah.
Plus he could mix it up out there for his son. To
Well,
potentially
I
do
know
good
in
in
the
the
past,
championships.
yeah, I know in the past he's come back just for that, kind
Yeah,
of help
yeah.
them out. So,
Might be
yeah,
about that time, to come back and throw some hands with them guys. Because I
it
mean,
might be.
it's like riding a bicycle. I mean, Hector Jr. was the first to 200 guys, so he's not no puppy. He knows what's up.
No, no doubt. I'm gonna see right now what the entry list looks like. I do not see a senior on the list, so I don't think we'll be seeing him. But this coming weekend, Z-Max Dragway, the Carolina Nationals, pending nothing happening, I'm gonna be down there. So I look forward to getting y'all some coverage and some stuff. But yeah, let's see. 1, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. Looks like we got 15 entries. So
About the
whoever
average.
whoever qualifies number one is gonna get that lucky buy, right? Or do they do it some weird way?
No, I mean, well, this past weekend, Gage got a competition buy and then got a earn
Got a
buy.
true buy, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, because they were at 14 bikes, right?
yeah, and Kelly exploded a motor, so and they just
She did not actually.
oh, she didn't blow a motor up. Are you
Yeah,
there?
I was just making sure I counted right as 15. No, she did not because for I seen some she made a post that I saw the other day that specifically said just to let everybody know I did not blow any motors up this past weekend. And I believe she said, I'll pull it up. I don't want to butcher it. I think she said something like she wasn't feeling good on race day.
Really? I could have
Yeah, and
swore
she
I
just
read that.
decided, well, somebody posted that.
Oh,
That was,
okay.
yeah, somebody said that or posted it. It was out there. She said, yes, 2 days ago, she said, sometimes you have to take a step back before you can move forward. I was not feeling 100% and thought it was in my best interest to not race. She said, we did not have a catastrophic engine failure as was said on NHRA.
Okay.
2024 has been a season doing what's best for us and our amazing support system behind us. Thank you to all our sponsors and
So
supporters.
basically, NHRA fed you boys some bad information.
Yeah, it was NHRA. They
Unbelievable.
trying to stir that pot too.
Damn CNN.
Oh Lord Almighty. Oh man,
But
we we're gonna get some
realistically,
unsubscribes there.
not really. All the news media sucks, if y'all
Honestly,
my
I don't
opinion.
care.
Yeah.
I don't care.
But the weekend was cool because two people in the final that hadn't won this year, and it was going to be a hometown win for either one of them because Richard's Philly and the Ranas are Philly, Philadelphia. So it was going to be
Are they from
cool.
there?
Yeah, yeah, that's their home tracks. What they say. I mean, I guess they're not from there, but
I
that's
gotcha.
like home base. So,
Right, right. Oh, New
um,
York. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, they're in New York. Okay,
yeah,
yeah, so that's their home. Okay,
yeah, yeah,
close
yeah,
track. Yep.
yeah,
All right.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yeah,
So
no,
either way,
so
it was
we'll
cool.
see. You know what? It's for all the talk of there not being parity, and whatever. Like it's just me and Dustin's opinion, not to me. I mean, this is shaping up to be, end
A
of
little,
season.
little spicy.
Yeah, exactly.
Anybody
It's
could
getting
win.
spicy. It's
Yeah.
getting spicy. You had Gage barely get the win over Angie at the U.S. Nationals, and then come into this was the first countdown race or was the U.S. Nationals? U.S. Nationals was the last one before, right? Yeah.
Yeah, this is the first
So
countdown
the
race.
first countdown race, and
New winner.
arguably the two favorites, Gage and Matt, they fall in the semifinals. So yeah, it's getting spicy, as Dustin said. So I will try my best to get us some good content and coverage over the weekend, assuming I do make it down as scheduled. So that's the NHRA
Is it my
talk
turn
and stuff.
to
It
talk about
could
my
be.
pain?
You know what? You know who I'm looking forward to seeing this coming weekend?
Who?
Uh,
Larry? Larry McBride?
Larry in Boo,
Yeah.
in Boo.
Yeah.
Shout out to Boo. But yes, shout out. We left him out. Larry Spider-Man McBride. In the Hulk, Jimmy Brantley. They're big supporters of the podcast. I sent
That's
Mr.
the big dogs,
Steve
man.
McBride a great care package
Oh, did
other
you?
week. Oh yeah, I ran into Larry and Steve briefly at the last XDA event, and
Yeah.
unfortunately, that's all it was. I'm sure Larry got sidelined and couldn't make it all the way down to the woods where we were, but I was talking to Steve, and he was like, "How do I get one of them Red Hill shirts?" I was like, "What are you talking about?" I was like, "I must have dropped off 5 or 10 shirts at Virginia." He's like, "Larry didn't give me none of them," and I burst out laughing. So I made a special care package to Steve McBride and sent it down to the shop after that. So look
Yeah.
forward to seeing him. Hopefully they're rocking him this weekend. We'll see.
Yeah.
See.
They might. We'll see. I know Larry is,
Larry's got a special shirt when he
yeah,
races
yeah.
for
He
sure. There ain't no
wears,
doubt about that. But
yeah,
I
the
wouldn't be
Tret shirt.
surprised to see some being worn. We'll see.
Yeah.
I'll get some pictures for sure. All right, what is next on the agenda? Oh, this coming weekend, we got SDBA back in action. There is still time to make plans to head to.
There's shootout spots available. There's early testing on Friday instead of the regular testing.
Okay. Where are we racing at? I don't know.
Um, Alabama, Lassiter
Ah,
Mountain.
Lassiter Mountain. You ever race
Yeah.
there?
No, I'm shaking in my boots. Never been there before. It's in Mount Olive, Alabama.
Mount
Alabama.
Olive. That's like familiar. I feel like there's a Mount Olive,
I don't
Tennessee
know
in
if
there.
anybody's ever seen that guy, the YouTube video that he says, "I do not freebase cocaine," and he calls it Alabama. So that's why I call it. He says,
Oh
"I
man.
was at that rehab center in Alabama." If you haven't ever seen that video, you
Is
got to
that
watch
Theo
it.
Vaughn?
No, no, no.
Sounds
This
like
is a
some shit he
old.
would
This is
say.
like a
Oh, okay.
1980s model like clip of this guy, and
Oh
he's
man.
like, "I'll take a toot now, a toot, or if somebody offers you some, it's just disrespectful, but I do not freebase cocaine." That's what he says.
Oh man.
Anyway,
I'd
this year was
freebase about
supposed to
anything
be
right now if my neck felt better. Gosh dang, boy.
this year was supposed to be my redemption season
Yeah.
of me screwing me and being up from winning to go to Vegas last year.
Let me
And
hold you
boys,
up real quick. First off, y'all, just a little backstory. Last year, Dustin told me, he said, look, he said, I'm going to go run a couple races at Bristol to qualify, and be on their bracket finals team. I'm going to the bracket finals. I'm going to try and win the race, and we're going to Vegas. And I said, let's get it, boy. And I have faith in my homie. Like, I mean, look, if Dustin Lee tells you he's going to do something, you can usually take that to the bank. I mean, he's going to do it in the best of his ability, and that's why y'all always see him in the garage working, making sure his shit's top notch. Like me, y'all know I don't work on nothing. Like if my shit falls apart in a burnout box, it is what it is. But Dustin's prepared, and let me tell y'all, he fell what 6 thou short of making it to Vegas last year. Made it
five
to
or
the
six.
finals
Yeah.
of the Division 2 race, and the winner goes to Vegas and tight race, close racing, both double O on this tree and just came up on the losing end of that. And look, I know he was upset, but for someone to tell you that they're going to do that at the beginning of the year and damn near do it, like it was impressive. So, anyways, I just want to give the backstory. So you went back for round 2 this year.
Yeah, I was I'll be honest with you, it was the only race I've cared about all season. Like it was the only race that I was personally excited about going to because I feel like I'm good enough to win the race. I feel like that I am the guy to beat at that race just because I'm really good at delay box racing. For somebody that didn't do it for such a long time, I feel like I'm very good at it. And damn, I was. I mean, off the trailer, my bike was set up at my local track. I made one pass at Knoxville 2 weeks prior to this race on that bike, and I was 019 and it went 568. And we go down there, and I got there, guys, Tuesday night or Wednesday morning at 3 a.m. to test on Wednesday. It done nothing but rain. It rained off and on Wednesday and Thursday. Basically, both days got squashed, but we did get to see the sunshine Thursday evening for the first time. So had a great time with Jerry and David Young and Dalton. You know, we went out, me, Jerry, and David Young before Dalton got there, went to dinner Thursday night, and me and Jerry went out to dinner Wednesday night. He got me quote unquote out of the house because I was trapped in that camper all day, losing my damn mind. And Friday come around, and we had promised that we were going to get to do something. There was no testing. We was going to get one time run and go straight into a gambler's, which in my opinion, I would rather test and race. That's cool. I'll just send it like it is and we'll see where we're at. And ironically, I looked at the bike and I looked at the weather and I thought, man, this thing's going to go a 570 with this terrible weather because it's like super humid. And um, I left everything else the same. And I sent Ben a photo of my dial board, had a 570, and the bike went 69.8 and I was 018 on the tree. Confidence level and myself and the bike was there. And that's the hardest part of this motorcycle, in my opinion, is just dialing it because it's a nitrous bike and it's on motor and that nitrous fuel and it, you know, the weather really. Thankfully, me and Ben got blessed with the weather not really throwing us big curveballs this weekend like it did last year. Last year, boy, it took
No,
a swing.
but you can confirm with my lovely wife that I, in fact, did bring my weather cheat sheet along with me to the park on Saturday. Like, had it with me.
You could have just took a picture, bro.
I did, but it's like, yeah, but then you're like, I gotta be
Trying
texting
to
you
look at
back and
both.
like, and then
Yeah.
yeah, and then it's small. No, I brought the
Yeah.
full size
So
laminated
me and
sheet.
Ben have this thing now, and next year it's going to be the same way unless he's there fucking with me.
I'll be
Like,
there next year. Mark my
we're,
words.
like we PB and J this. Like, I feel like that's the only race that I feel it's necessary to text Ben what the bike did and what the weather was. Just because last year was so awesome of what we did for me to go all the way to the finals after 10 years of never doing it. And anyway, we go in the first round of the gamblers race and I missed it. I thought, man, I missed the tree a little bit, but it was good enough. The other guy, he had a problem. I think he run off his dial quite a bit, like a tenth or something. I was 025 and I got off the gas and had room and took the win. And to add to that, on the way back from the pass, a jerk on a scooter on the inside of a blind curve hit me. Thankfully, his tire hit the exhaust and barely scratched the fairing, so it could have been way worse. But I had to woo-saw myself from not grabbing this guy by his vocal cords, and because he got in my face and said, "You're flying," when I was in a legit 90-degree turn on a 77-inch motorcycle, like you're just not flying around that curve. And I also was cautious of that, and thankfully I was. Anyway, round two in the gamblers race, I was 009. The other guy went 005 red, and me and Ben predicted a 566, and it went dead on, dead
Sweet.
six out the back. The bike Friday night loved 566. That was her jam. Like that's what we left on it for 2 or 3 rounds. Round three, I was 002. I was racing. Was I racing Stewart? I think that round, and I was fired up. And no, I was racing Santi Rodriguez, who I lost to in the final last year, and I wanted that one, and didn't touch the box for nothing, guys. I was just fired up, and I got all of it. I was 002, went a 566 again, and then third round, I was 002 and went 566 again, I think. And unfortunately, after third round, we got the South Georgia curfewed, and I felt really good about it. We were down to I think 8 bikes, and we split. and called it a night, and then went back after it the next morning. In the main race, there's no time runs. There is uniquely a first round buyback. Um, so that kind of makes you not really worry about it. But I was just wanting to test mine and Ben's abilities more than anything. And I can't remember. Trying to see here if I got it on my phone. I do.
It's all a
Yeah.
blur to me, but and I was not drinking also. Year before I was drinking. I was drinking and
Yeah.
tuning. I was like on my computer
So
like this.
me and Ben kind of played it safe, and we decided to dial a 68 or a 67, and I was going to be the judge of it when I got to the lanes, and I threw it on an 8. And the guy I raced was just terrible. Ben actually is like, that guy shouldn't buy back, which he's actually a super cool guy. He's just old, and he didn't hear him call us, and he rushed the lanes, and he was just in a predicament, because we sit for 2 hours in the rain. But I was 013 and way off the
Yeah,
gas to
no
get
no
the win.
disrespect, but I
Yeah,
mean like when some especially if you're box racing, you see some what was it? It was bad, wasn't it?
0.16. Yeah.
That's bad. That's a bad miss if you're hitting the bottom, y'all. So I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Uh like nothing against you, dude, brother, old man, old dude, whatever, getting it on, but like, man, that's bad. So I don't know what happened there.
Meanwhile, I didn't touch anything. I mean, I I didn't change the box. It was the same as yesterday. So realistically, if I got after the tree, I could be 002. And that's where I left it. And in round two, that's what I was. I was 002. I raced Mr. Stewart, and he was 017. He dialed a 562. He went a 561 with a 2. I dialed a 567, went a 66 with a 3. So I won by 1 thou. Um, when I caught him, I rolled off the gas, and when I got back in it, he just let me go, and I caught it and got off the gas, thankfully, just in time, or I would have broke out more than him. I wanted to dial a 6 that pass, but with the rain and stuff like around, I was afraid that it was going to choke the bike up one, so I just went with a 7 because I knew I could run it. And man, this is when the heartbreak happens. You sit there and you wait until you hear the class call before you. And they called Sportsman, who was before me, or motorcycles. And we go in the trailer. I get my stuff ready. I send Ben a final text of, hey, this is the weather about to go up. We predict to dial in, for a 564. And then it starts sprinkling. And we stood around for probably 2 hours. I'm suited up with my pants on and stuff because you didn't know when it was going to quit. It wasn't enough rain to like require drying anything. It was just it needed to stop so we could race. And it was like a mist. And I guess I just kind of mentally beat the humidity and all that stuff. And I went up there, come off the button, thought I killed it. I was 052. The guy that I raced was 017. If I would have known that I didn't hit the tree, I could have still won the race because I broke out 4 thou more than he did. But mistakes were made, and I guess I'm going to third time's a charm it next year is what I'm going to say when I leave the
What was
house.
it going to run though? What was the run
We
completion looking like?
predicted a 564, and by the 3:30, it was going to go a 564. Me and Ben
Mm.
done our job. We done our jam. Um, that was the fastest dial in the motorcycle it had on it all weekend.
Mm-hmm.
But Ben's learning that motorcycle, and I know that motorcycle, and I'm like, man, it's going to pick up because the humidity and the DA was just going down
Yeah, I
because it was
remember the
getting dark.
vapor was down a bit too,
Yep,
and that's what I
yep,
was tracking on my
yep,
cheat sheet that you
yep,
get with your University of Wind membership.
yep. But the silver lining of the deal was is Team Bristol had 4 motorcycles. It was me, Jerry Turner, Dalton Markham, and David Young. So I
It's a
was the
hell
only
of a
one
group.
that lost round three. And so the next round in round four, David Young raced the same guy I raced and had a bad missed the tree and lost. But Dalton and Jerry continued on. Round five, Dalton and Jerry continued on. And in the semis, the way they do this is a team don't have to race each other until they have to. Ironically, the guy that beat me and David Young was the only person that didn't have a bye. So he got the bye, which forces two team track bikes to race each other, which was Dalton and Jerry.
So they do, say that again though. I didn't
You
even
will
know
not
catch it.
have to race a Bristol motorcycle until there's just not enough bikes left to split it apart.
So how does that work then? It's just like
The
they'll
guy comes through the lanes and he asks each person what track they're from, and he keeps going until he finds a problem. And then he might make people in line swap
oh, I
places to
gotcha.
fix it or whatever.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, we love it because you just go up there. If you're beside somebody that your teammate don't matter, they're going to fix it. Now,
Yeah.
until
Yeah,
this
yeah, yeah.
situation,
Right,
and
right. That's
everybody
just
had a
cool though.
bike, so they yes, I love it. It's awesome, and it tries to help because there's actually at the division finals team points. So every win
Mm-hmm.
that you get, like your track gets a point. So they do that to not screw the tracks out of the team points. And anyway, the South Georgia 11 o'clock curfew hit us again, and I was really hoping they would finish it. Two reasons: everybody was racing, everybody was in a groove, it was all going good. And also, I've been there since Tuesday, and I was going to love nothing more than wake up at 7 or 8 in the morning and roll out and head home. But they hit the curfew, and I was not leaving until the race was over. So we get up the next morning. Uncle Jerry, like clockwork, shows up with the same breakfast for me that he had the day before, and bull peanuts that he got the day before. It's like, look what I got. Nothing changed. Everything was the same, except I didn't get to unload my motorcycle. And but I was helping Jerry and Dalton if they needed anything, and we go up there, and Dalton and Jerry was James Bond together. They were both 007 on the tree, and Dalton's bike didn't shift for a reason. And actually, he sent me a picture today. He thinks his shift shaft's tired, so he's going to replace it. That's probably the problem. But Jerry was a machine. The road to the final, he was trip zip 002, 002, 007. I mean, I feel like I was doing great, but Jerry showed up in race day. Like he
hmm
was on kill doing his thing. And ironically, the guy that was sitting on the bye that beat me and David Young, he had a bye, and man, he all but ruined it. Like he didn't come off the button and he backed out of the beams. They had to reset the tree and reset him to make his pass. And then the bike busted up the whole run. Like it was just worst case scenario if you're sitting on the bye the next morning, other than the
Yeah,
bike just not firing up and you couldn't break the beams. But
that's true.
so Jerry rolls into the finals with a nerve wracking pass in the semis because he didn't know what to do, but got it done and actually had the advantage, at that point because the other guy didn't make a good run. And Jerry was like 0-12 on the tree and just laid it out there, and he got the dub, and he's going to Vegas, and it was so cool to me and him, of course, had plenty of time to BS and talk and live things. And I don't know if some of you guys might not know Jerry Turner, but they don't make him better. Like he's a good
Nicest
person.
guy I've ever met.
Yep. Yeah. He'll give you the shirt off his back, or I
Yeah.
mean, hell, he's give me and Ben his motorcycles to
Oh
ride.
yeah.
Like,
Jerry's who got me into it. I
I'm
mean,
going to
like
tell a
that's
story about Jerry Turner right here that I've never told anybody. Ben knows the story. My first event win at Rockingham. I've been wanting to say this for a long time. My first event win at Rockingham.
Wow.
I
Hold on.
raced.
Hold on. Let me hit stop record. We're breaking it out now.
No, let's do it.
I know, I know.
I
Wow,
don't
this
give a
is
shit.
big. This is big.
So my first event win at Rockingham, I raced Ben. I don't remember what round it was. It might have been third or fourth round, whatever. And I beat Ben, but when my bike left, I felt something. I get back to the trailer, I pull my clutch cover off. This is like 2014 or 13, Ben. It was something like that. I think it was
Third
2014 or 13.
it was 13 or 12, dude. It was
It was, if
13.
anything, it was 13.
All right.
And I pulled the clutch cover off, and I had a them stupid springs on a Hayes clutch at the time that go across. Ben was one that got us all buying Hayes clutches because he got one and it worked great for him. But those springs could not like handle Dustin Lee. Like I raced too much, they would break and tear things up. And I'll never forget. Stu had just lost on Jerry's 14, and Stu goes, "Just ride my 14." I'm like, he goes, "What's the worst can happen? You don't know what to dial it. You've only rode it one time ever, and I got my license for NHRA on it years ago. It had to be 13 because that was the
Yeah, it
last
was
time I done NHRA.
yeah, it
So
wasn't 14 for sure. And by the way, y'all,
yeah,
at this time, like Dustin was kicking ass any local track, but it's like that y'all
I
probably
could
don't even
not never
remember
win a big
this,
race.
but yeah, Dustin went to a bigger race, and yeah, it was basically second, third, fourth round exit,
Yeah.
like that was
And
common.
I looked at Jerry and I said, you know what? Fuck it. I put my sticker on his bike and go up there at Rockingham in the lanes. And lo and behold, they walked up and my double O light against B and got me the buy. So what did Dustin do? He threw a 930 on the side of the bike, the same dial he had on his Busa. And damn if I didn't go dead on. Like I went 930 on Jerry's clutch ZX14 straight down Broadway. And it was on then.
And
I,
that was like
I,
what, fourth round or something?
yeah, something like that. And, you know, I rode Jerry's motorcycle to my first ever big race, like, series race win
Yeah, it
ever.
was a My Rock race, right?
Yeah, yeah, it was. And if I could tell y'all, like, Tamara was crying and it was crazy. Like, cause I didn't, to be honest, I thought I was done. Like, I rode Jerry's bike at Ben's big bike race at Bristol and I got license passes on it. That's the only time I've ever rode it. So I didn't even know its habits or know anything. And Jerry said, you can do it. You're good. And he is, he
I
was
remember
right.
sitting up
And
in the stands watching, man.
yeah,
It
and they
was
would announce
wild.
Dustin Lee on his Hayabusa ZX14.
Yeah, yeah, and
uh,
you
um,
you were definitely not known enough for anybody to catch it either.
no. And I'm
Plus,
a
what was
full
that? To be
believer.
fair, is that Rockingham, and pretty much anything went back then. Back then
Yeah.
at Rockingham.
Well, I'm a firm believer that I don't believe in the motorcycle brake and you can't race rule. If you're a bad enough
Oh,
hombre
100%.
to jump on a bike, I don't care if a dude changes bikes every round. If he's bad enough to do that, kudos, bro. Like you're dope.
I'm
Like
with
you
you
can kill it.
100%. Like
Yeah.
that's just, I mean, let's
You're
be
screwing
real. That's a
yourself.
that's a dumb rule, period.
Yeah. Yeah.
It just worked out that Dustin somehow got the bye to basically it was more than
Shake it
anything else
down.
a shakedown, a confidence run.
Yeah.
But like, he
Yeah.
jumped on it and we're like, well, this isn't gonna last long. And then he comes up. I remember being in the stands and I'm like, how the hell did he get a bye run? He got a bye run. And we're like, how could you get that lucky? And he comes back, he's all smiling and laughing, and
Yeah.
we're like, all right,
I
well,
couldn't
here
believe
we
it went
go.
dead on. Like
And
I
we
was
just
like,
kept watching round after round and like look at the oh, sorry, my dog's dreaming. I was like, what the hell is that barking now? Like at the time, and but, look, Dustin and I are getting older, and like, once you get older and wiser, your views change. At the time, I remember thinking like, that's that to me, there was no, even then, I was like, there's no advantage. That's just strictly a disadvantage to jump on a bike that you pretty much, have ridden like once ever.
no
It's
doubt.
definitely a disadvantage. Don't know what's going on. I at the time, like I wouldn't have done it, but I didn't care that he
Well,
did
you were in
because
the
there was
mix
no.
for like points and stuff at the time. I
Well, I'm
was
just saying,
just,
like that
yeah,
was back then too, where like I mean, like I would have never let my brother or you or somebody else win that's real tight with me if we were running for something. Now I don't honestly I don't care.
yeah,
Like if
yeah.
I can have my brother or you or somebody win a championship and I can't win it, then whatever. Anyways,
It.
it was that man. You just told a
I've been
story on
wanting to
the
say
show.
this for a
I
long
know
time, and it was
about
the time to do
about
it.
10 years plus.
Yeah, and it's my I called Jerry Turner my Uncle Jerry because there's photos of Jerry sitting on a bed beside me when I was a baby. He used to date my aunt. So he is legit to me, my Uncle Jerry. Like,
Yep.
I don't know if anybody ever heard me talk about my Uncle Frank. He took me racing. Guess what? Jerry Turner took me racing. Like
Oh
I was
yeah.
a grown up and he was like, I'm already going. Just bring your bike to the house and you can go with me. And I did that all the time. Actually, that race, I did
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
And because I didn't have the money. And Jerry he's just a caring person. And there's nobody that I would ever say that didn't deserve it. Like he deserves
He's
it for sure.
he's literally the most generous, caring person, and he loves this sport so much. I mean,
Yeah.
he got me
He's
into it.
created so many
Yeah.
racers
Oh
too.
yeah, he's
Yeah.
literally the
Ben.
reason I raced
Yeah.
motorcycles. I was racing cars back then, and long story short, I mean, I've told it before, but it was when I worked at Bristol. Jerry convinced me one night after a street night event that I was working. He kept on me about riding, come race bikes with him during the bracket races because that's the only thing I didn't work back then. And I think I showed up one time on my Harley Sportster. Man, that was just it was not fun. It was embarrassing. It was not cool. And he stayed on me. And one night I rode his bike up and down the return road. because I told him, I was like, man, I don't want to tear your bike up. And I didn't know enough about him that I was like, first thing I said, I was like, well, I'm going to tear your clutch up trying to change gears. He's like, you just hit a button. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah. He's like, you hit this button. He showed me the air shifter setup. And I was like, that's pretty cool. And then I went down the return road and that was all she wrote. And literally, I think it was the next weekend. I showed up to the bracket race. There's the bike. There's a set of leathers, like
He
everything,
brings it ready to go.
literally.
He's the best bike owner.
Yeah.
Like he just your
And
race.
that winter, I bought
Yeah.
a Hayabusa used from David Snap.
Yeah.
Your buddy
Had
David.
like 50,000 miles on
Yeah,
it.
like 50,000 center stand saddlebags. And
Yeah.
I brought it straight to Jerry's basement garage. And me and him built it over the winter with used parts.
Yep. Sure did.
But yeah,
And
Uncle Jerry, two-time Division II champion, three-time NHRA world finalist.
actually he's
Yeah,
a
two-time
three-time
champ.
Division II champion and then two-time attendee of
No,
the
he's
he won
two-time.
Division II three times,
No,
right?
twice. He corrected me the other day.
Oh.
He went. What
Oh,
the hell?
balloons.
Yeah, two-time Division II
Oh,
champion.
the one time he won the race of champions.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it
And he
was
was
the
a wild
year.
card.
Yeah, he was the first
Yeah.
wild card. Yep, that's what he had to
Okay.
correct me for. Because
Okay.
that's the
Okay.
first thing I told him when I talked to him. I was like, "What's up, three-time champ?" And he's like, "Well, technically." I was like, "Damn it."
The first thing I told him when he got back was, you're going back. You ain't got to go all the way to California. You just got to go to Vegas, and third time's a charm.
Yeah,
And so I don't know exactly who all's going to Vegas to race. Um, they better watch out. Jerry
yeah,
Turner's going to be there.
for
It's going to be
sure.
awesome.
Our Uncle Jerry's coming to play, y'all. So yeah, that
Me and
was it.
Ben should just fly there just to be there. I
Yeah,
swear it'd
I've
be
thought
so
about
cool.
it. I told him
Yeah.
if he couldn't find anybody to ride with him, Tiffany will kill me. But I told him I might because I was already going to play go with you. Yeah, I mean, obviously, at that point, you and I are just rooting Jerry and Dalton on, but and we love you, Dalton. But
Yeah. I mean,
Uncle Jerry, just that's
that's
really
family.
home for us. That's
Hmm.
home. So,
Yeah. I mean, realistically, if Dalton beat Jerry, I'd want Dalton to win. You know what I mean? So it
oh
was,
yeah,
I wanted Team
this is a
Bristol to do
win-win.
good. And
Y'all
and
were
and
rocking.
Red that does DER at Bristol, he sure does love his bike guys right now because 2 years in a row we've stuck them in the finals, and I'm happy that he's happy. And if you ever met Red at Bristol, usually he's serious, but at the bracket finals, Red is so happy, like he just wants us all to do good, and
Yep.
it was very cool. And I already told him to put me down for next year. He just laughed. I said, I ain't gonna quit until I get it, boss. And you know how I am. My bucket is very empty, and that's the one thing that's still on it. But unexpectedly, I'm going to HRA Worlds here soon, so you never know. We'll see what happens.
Yep, yep. What else we got to cover? Is that about it?
Man, I think that was a mad thrash of a lot of info
It
in a short
was.
amount of time.
It was.
I
So
will
we
go
got
over this. So we
recap.
got SDBA
Yeah,
coming up
that's what I
this
was gonna say.
weekend. If you're local to me, next weekend Knoxville has a JJ Arm Drop no prep deal. For me, the weekend after is XDA, and then the weekend after that is IHRA World Finals for me, and then I got
Hmm.
a little break, and then SDBA last race is the next
Yeah.
thing on the list.
I do also want to shout out real quick one of our school members, Mr. Robert Williams.
Yeah,
Man, Robert, he's
he's
man,
a
faithful.
versatile racer.
He joined the school like off the rip, and he's been a member for,
He's
basic
not
for
afraid
the
to
whole
learn.
time. The whole time. And, good bracket racer, index racer, but man, literally pretty much has been grudge racing his turbo Hayabusa for the last year and a half, and has had lots of issues arise, right? And this man, I mean, he reminds me of you, to be honest, Dustin. I mean, he has no quit. So I seen him, I had no clue where he was racing this past weekend, but I seen him post like the week last week, like, man, I'm getting this thing done. I don't care if I stay up, and damned if he didn't get this bike like engine back together, putting the bike. I think he said started up for the first time Thursday night, 10 o'clock. Loaded the trailer, was on the road by 11 that night, and showed up to this war in the woods. Okay,
It's a
now
big, sketchy ass racetrack that these car guys go to, and they've allowed bikes the last two races.
Yeah, so like I'd heard of it and I kind of knew what it was, but I had no clue like that's what he was getting his bike ready for and all. I didn't even think it was like even close to him, to be frank. Anyways, sure as shit, Sunday I'm browsing through Facebook and I see our boy Robert got the dub, man. Took that bag, 7,200, won war in the woods. So shout out to our school member who's a badass grudge no prep racer too. Didn't even know it. So his medallion ships out tomorrow, a little extra hardware to go with that 72 hundo. Um
A good racer is versatile. They can do
oh yeah.
anything, and he's proven it. And that's why I'm going to do the JJ arm drop thing, just because it's different. It's something I ain't done. I might learn something. So if it's hard on my motorcycle and I start spinning a lot and stuff, I probably just
Yeah.
bail out. But I'm going to give it a shot.
Yeah. Look, I ain't gonna lie, after I seen that like got me excited. I briefly thought about like no prep would be cool, and I was like, nah, I don't have the energy
Well,
for
that
that.
track it wouldn't be. It's got guardrails and it's just
Yeah,
not
well, yeah, I'm
ideal.
not a fan for that.
I mean, I don't
Um,
mind guardrails as long as you're on a good track. You know what I mean? But if the track's sketchy, then you
mm,
might end up there. Like
yeah,
that's just
I don't like guardrails, period. If I can pre-plan and prevent, I don't
yeah,
participate.
yeah.
Let's give away a couple gift certificates tonight, but listen, we are about to give away some good stuff here in the next couple of weeks. Just to let y'all know,
The year's
we
ending, guys.
we saved up some of the bigger giveaways, the BST wheels, the Gen 2 clutch. We still got Penske shock. We're gonna start handing these things out. If you somehow aren't signed up, there's still a little bit of time and a couple spots left. You're welcome to. We haven't hit max capacity, but we're getting there. And you know what? If you don't, that's cool. It's even better odds for all our loyal subscribers. So let's give
Yeah.
away some
And
stuff
if
real
you're
quick.
into gambling, you can add another one under your wife's name. Just
I
saying.
love gambling. Where am I at right now? Can we see it?
Yep, it's pulling up. Yep, we got a wheel spinning.
All right, let's do
Shuffle it.
more than three, right? This
Yeah, let's
time.
do something different this time. Let's do
Hold on,
shuffle it 10 times.
I found it the other day. How the heck do you?
Customize to
There we
change the
go.
time. There you go.
You know
30
what?
seconds. 30, try, yeah, do 39. That's your number. There you go. And then shuffle it 10 times.
10 times.
Yeah, just click it 10 times. Shuffle, shuffle,
All
shuffle,
right.
shuffle.
You gonna count?
Yeah,
Wait, I feel like it already shuffled it.
just click it 10 times.
One,
Two,
two,
three,
three.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All
Boom.
right,
All right. We'll
here
do
we go.
two. We're gonna give away an MPS Racing $50 gift certificate and a Schnitz Racing. We appreciate their support. They supplied us with a lot of gift certificates this year. And yeah, you can get plenty of great, pretty much anything you want from those two companies.
Yeah, yeah,
They
yeah,
sell just about anything,
yeah.
anything, everything. All right.
Everything.
First winner, we will
Trying
do
to guess who it's going to be here.
MPS Racing.
Bro, is it going to be close to Boyd
It might be
again?
my brother.
Oh, yeah, they're going to make it. It might be your brother. Nah, it's going to be Nick Noble.
What did I just say? We were going oh
Oh,
shit.
Steven.
All right. Well, look, y'all seen that couldn't have been planned.
No,
What did I just
it's
say he was gonna
nuts.
win?
Uh,
MPS.
yeah, I mean, whichever one, it don't matter. You
Okay.
said you was going to do a snitz and MPS.
All right. Well, congrats, brother.
Yeah,
He won't do anything with it.
he'll probably buy a shirt or something.
All right. Let's shuffle it. We'll do it three times this time.
Yeah,
One, two, three.
tree.
Here we go. This one for the Schnitz Racing gift certificate.
39-second spin. It'll
Yeah.
stop on Ben's bike number. Ironically, while we was looking at the NHRA results, Ida, that races Top Fuel, has the same
Yeah.
number as Ben.
Who
She's number
I hung out
39.
for a while with her in Vegas one year. Man, that was yeah, I'm a fan. I was a fan, even bigger fan. I just run
She
it
might be
Rocky
your
my
fan.
number.
Might be why her number's 39.
Yeah, right on. I doubt that. I doubt that. Let's see what we got. Dang, about got John Hall. Almost got somebody famous in here. No, we love all y'all.
Is it going to be Michelle?
It's gonna be a
It
female.
might Michelle.
Michelle.
Yeah.
Congrats, Michelle. You
Awesome.
won 52 Schnitz Racing. All right, it's been a minute. We're gonna shout out the sponsors one more time because without them, we might not be here.
Probably not.
um, might not. Nah,
I'm getting sick right now. I just want to let y'all know. Ben
yeah.
got me sick at Virginia. He don't
I
believe
don't
it.
really. That was a
He
month
said that he
ago,
was having
bro.
random headaches, and then slowly after Virginia, I started having random headaches, and then now I'm starting to get stuffy, and it took his about that long to start.
Man, we
So
just
just
hold this F and man, I'm
well,
tore
let's
up.
just say it might be the weather, and you got the weather that I'm getting earlier than me. That might make sense.
Look, all I can say is pretty much everybody I've been around for the last week has got a sinus infection, which those aren't, as far as I know, you can't like give that to somebody. So
Yeah,
maybe it's not, but damn it, I'm telling y'all, I get sinus infections once or twice a year, just my allergies and where I live. And, it got cooler about 2 weeks ago. People started cutting their grass. So I'm like, man, this is a sinus infection. But I don't know. I might have been, I apologize if I got anybody sick, Dustin, anybody else around.
it's all good. It ain't bad enough to stop me. You know how I am. So
I'll tell you what, my neck hurts bad. I'd take that sinus infection back right now.
you need a Tamara's got this. You probably got one in your house too, especially with Tiffany. Heating blanket. You put you a heat
Yeah.
blanket on it
No, I
and
don't
go
like
from
heat.
hot to cold.
Yeah.
Put
Oh, the
heat
cold would
blanket
feel
on it and
good.
then icy hot.
I'm gonna put an ice pack on it.
Put some
Yeah,
peas,
that's good.
frozen peas on it or something.
Oh yeah, yeah, that
Yeah.
sounds good. All
Lay your
right,
head back on a recliner.
let's shout out these sponsors so I can go get some frozen peas on my neck. That almost sounded bad.
Let me do
All
it.
right,
Worldwide Barons.
yeah, you do it. Great.
You want me to do
Yeah,
it? Worldwide Barons. Mr. Ralphie at Platinum, Monster Race Products, BST Wheels, MTC Engineering, Brock's Performance, Snitz Racing, DME Racing, Hard Times Parts and Service, Pittsky Racing Shocks, Spinning Ain't Winning, MPS Racing, Montgomery Motorsports, Max ECU, BMF Motorsports, and the University of Winners.
that's right. Man, it's cool too. I keep seeing in my screen like where my mullet it appears and disappears, where the
Yeah, yeah,
screen's trying to like cut
yeah,
it off for the backgrounds. Let me
yeah.
fluff this thing out for y'all. Look, I'm telling y'all, this is the only reason y'all said you wanted a mullet. The mullet is back, baby. Perm free. I don't need no perm. My shit is on point. All right,
You need to
that's all
put
the
like a Z in the
enthusiasm. I
side
got
of
it.
your
Man,
head. Have
I
them
I know.
put some
I
designs in there. You can get
I had good intention to do that to the last race, but
do like Spencer's hand and put that rooster up there on the side.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I could do that. I could do that. I was actually planning on doing some lightning strikes through it for the last race, but yeah, don't think
Well,
it's gonna
we ain't
happen.
even going to talk about that
Yeah.
negativity in this. Some bullshit.
It's a call to being an adult. Happens, man. Happens.
Yeah.
Anyways, look, we love y'all. We appreciate y'all listening to us ramble on. We love it when y'all come up and tell us at
I had people
races.
this weekend, dude, at the
Did
bracket
they?
finals. Love the podcast. I'm like, all right, cool.
Hey, listen, y'all keep on telling us those things because that keeps the podcast going. And I'm speaking from the heart there. Like,
It's not, yeah, yeah. If
y'all
y'all quit
very well
enjoying it, we're
know.
going to quit doing it.
Oh
Let's
yeah.
just say
And y'all
that.
know that, now I have a baby and a toddler. Dustin's got a kid. We both have multiple
Mine's easy. I'm going to start
businesses.
letting Harper fill in for me on this
Ah,
thing
I know,
sometimes.
but it's a lot of stuff. So
Yeah.
that really does
Mowing
make
season's
it push
almost over
us.
for me. That helps a lot.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
y'all know I be mowing, and actually we've been mowing my neighbor's yard too because he
Oh
passed
yeah.
away. So
Yeah.
yeah,
So
that
y'all
sucks.
keep the enthusiasm and comments coming. We really love hearing that. So all
Yeah.
right, that's all we got for tonight. We'll see
All right,
y'all
y'all.
next time.
Glad we got to finally do one. Two
I
weeks late,
know.
but
Yeah,
we're
sorry,
here.
y'all. Who knows? Maybe we'll have a special guest or something on sooner than later. Maybe
Yeah,
I might
maybe a
line up
live
some
next week
guests
or something. We'll figure it.
while you're racing for a week that you're just too busy. I might just get a guest on. I already got some
Look, not this
volunteers.
weekend, but next weekend I have the JJ Arm Drop no
Yeah.
prep deal on Saturday and my daughter's birthday on Sunday.
Yeah.
Like, bro, pray for me.
I'll do it. I'll do it.
Yeah.
All right, y'all be safe. Go race if you can. Support local tracks. Support all these series.
Oh, NHRO is it NHRO that's this weekend?
Oh man, I don't know. We're gonna have to
No,
verify
it was
now.
this past weekend. They canceled it, didn't they?
I don't know. Did they?
Yeah, it was supposed to have been in Ohio Valley and they canceled it.
Well, let's verify. we don't want to forget anybody if we can. When's Man Cup race again, by the way?
Uh,
I thought commented and left
I got a
Hollywood a
schedule. Let me
message.
look.
Yep, you're right. It's postponed to October 11th weekend is the next NHDRO. And then Man Cup returns to
September
action.
27th.
So next weekend, where are they
Yep,
racing next
Carolina
weekend?
Dragway.
Carolina. That's a race I went to last year, I
Yeah,
think.
that's the race that the bracket finals was at last year. Actually, it was
Okay.
that weekend. That's
Oh,
why we didn't get to go
yeah.
there.
Okay. Well, yeah. So, just so y'all know, head out to these events, support these bike series, y'all. You know, they won't be around if you don't support them. So
No.
don't go out of means, don't go out of pocket. We're not talking about that. But
Yeah, if you
if
can't
you,
afford to go, don't. If you want to
yeah,
go and you can, hell yeah, go
yeah,
give it a shot. Have a good time. See
for
some people you
sure.
ain't seen in a long time or meet new people.
Yeah, lots of great options here with the SDBA and then Man Cup, and then you go XDA and then NHDRO. Support these series, y'all. That's it. That's all we got tonight. See y'all. We love y'all. Deuces.
Peace.